Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged in the new shop. Getting it together, so it's still a disaster, but it is going to be so much nicer than working on my patio, right? We got it done, but it was a little weird seeing all of these manufacturers showing my videos of my patio. So I think this will be a lot nicer. Today I'm going over the Atezr AS laser enclosure. Now this will work for all of the Atezr lasers as far as I know, from the 20 watt, the 35 watt, or the L2s, which are 36 watt, 24 watt. I think it fits them all. It is pretty expensive. No, it's a really nice though. I mean, I could say it's worth the money, but when I say it's expensive, there are lower cost, almost exactly the same case. So pay attention to the price because this one might go on sale and the other ones don't or whatever. I paid $189 plus tax for this enclosure myself. I really needed something that I could set up immediately when I got here and that would work. And will it work? We'll see here in a second, but you can see it set up behind me now, but we're going to go through the whole building. But price, I wanted you to see this. If you look at the Ikier, which we know is almost the exact same machine, this one is almost the same exact size. And it has a $60 coupon, which brings it down to $140. So you could save yourself $40 if you don't mind, scratching out the Ikier or just leaving it on there. Who cares? It looks like the same enclosure. If you would rather go with Wizmaker, this is also, the same enclosure. And it is the same price as the Ikier. $50 coupon, but this is $189.99. So it ends up being the same price. So take a look at that. Now be careful. There are many enclosures out there, but they will not fit your larger machines. And I would kind of suggest you get the largest one you can anyways. Maybe you're going to upgrade, or it's nice to have extra room if you can get it. So yeah, you can save yourself $40, maybe even more if you buy one of these, but it's just not going to fit your larger machines. I did find one, this one here, the 2 trees, which is 800 by 800. It will fit. The problem is that if you look at it, the only way to get to your material and do things is through this front screen. It doesn't have a lifting lid, it looks like, so I don't think that I would go with this one. You're going to save what, $40? I think I like 2 trees, but this probably isn't going to cut it. So with all of that being said, let's get over to the enclosure. I'll put it together and we'll test it out and see if it works. Today I'm looking at the Atezr enclosure. I have an Atezr 36 watt, and it is big. And so I figured I'd better get the Atezr enclosure. Now, the Ikier enclosure is probably, for the L2 stuff, probably the same. So whichever one's cheaper, I imagine, would be the one to get. But I have a 500 by 500 honeycomb coming in. Anybody else do it this way? And I have this honeycomb, which is very cheaply made. And I got a 2 trees coming because I really do like the quality of their honeycomb beds. So I have that coming in. So obviously the packaging, extremely nice for something like that. Instructions, I imagine, are pretty easy. Take it out and set it up. Now, I will try it with the ducting that it comes with and the air just to make sure that it works okay for y'all. I am using my AC Infinity here. I have that going to the outside, but I will go ahead and try this one. and see how that works. All I know is it's pretty darn heavy. Yeah, it's definitely made of a good, thick, heavy material. This is not cheap. And that's good because it's not one of the cheaper enclosures to buy. But I think not just because, I think buying it for something that's not quite as big might be a preferential anyways, because it gives you room to grow and maybe you want to put something inside. But I guess that depends on how much space you have. Some people may open these things up all in a professional manner. It's just not my way. It just feels good to rip things apart once in a while. You know what I mean? So, wow. Looks pretty easy to put together. Just kind of figure out where the front is. Which is, of course, is where you can see through. All right. And then I imagine you take the other part that you can see through, aim that towards your face, and stick it on. This isn't going to be a very long video when it comes to figuring out how to put this thing together. I'm guessing that's what I love about a good engineering, is you just can't do it wrong. You freaking find out where these line up, you stick them together. If you put it in upside down, it's very easy to see. So I figured that this would be up higher, but actually this works out really nice. If you're sitting down, you'll be able to see. Now, this has film on it, so once I take this off, then you'll be able to see through really easily. Nice sturdy metal here to hold this up. Now, many of you probably saw my video where I made an enclosure because I had the extended bed and I needed an enclosure quickly and cheap because it was raining and I wanted to get some work done. And hey, 30 some bucks, you get a shelf, you make one. Ended up costing me, what, 50, 60 bucks to make that. And I got a really big extended enclosure. Now, then the problem is it wasn't big enough. It would not fit this laser. And it got warmer anyway, so I started working outside. So now that I'm in this fantastic shop, just moving in now, got a lot of pretty scary tools. Yeah, my past generations used to have to do a lot of work. So as you can see, it's a huge mess right now, and it's going to take me a while to get it in shape. But at least we've got an amazing place to do videos now, not on my patio. You know, I noticed so many of these companies were using my videos for their promotions, and I felt terrible because it's out there on my patio. I mean, the videos were good. They had great information, but having a shop, it does make it a little bit more professional. So question now is, if I stick in the Atezr L2, how is it going to fit? It looks like we got plenty of space. And it is the laser with the largest footprint I've ever used as far as a diode laser goes. Maybe the Atezr Laser Master 3 with the extension, but it was just longer. Now, eventually I am going to get I already said when I got the Atezr that I was going to get all the accessories. Now, they don't really have many yet, and I do plan on getting the extension. And so what happens when I do that? Of course, I'm going to have to do something. What I was thinking, is this a crazy thought? That I get two of these, and then I just cut out the back, and then I butt them against each other and close them up. maybe use some Velcro, just like they did, so that it would be collapsible again. And it may not be super cost effective, but it would be very effective when it comes to being able to pick it up and move it somewhere else or do something. So we'll see. I may do the Enclosure Zilla way of Clack Shack and build my own. We'll see how it goes. The fact is and many of you, I just got work to do. And I can't sit around worrying about an enclosure right now. I got to make stuff. And that's when these really come in handy. You know, wood is not cheap these days anyways. And by the time you build it, you probably could buy one. But there are some advantages of building your own. This is pretty thick, and it is going to cut down the sound a lot. But if you were to construct your own, maybe out of some particle board or something, you're going to be able to make it a lot more silent. Now, what are the things that are loud when it comes to this laser anyways? It turns itself off. Yours might not, which would be the module itself could be very loud. Like Wizmaker, that thing was like a jet engine, right? A really great laser, but super loud. So having that in an enclosure with some soundproofing would really make that thing, 10 times better, in my opinion. But what are the things that are outside of this enclosure? It just fits. And let's bring you in here. As you can see here, it just fits the L2. I mean, you're going to have room for your cables and stuff here. So you're going to want to put it all the way over to this side. So it's just a perfect fit for it without any extra room. So where are you going to put your air assist? Now, of course, it does have space in the back for you to put those cables, but it is going to be on the outside, meaning you're going to have a noise factor. So if you build your own enclosure, you could put all this inside. You could put the air blower inside. So my solution, of course, the air is pretty silent on these. So if you're not using a compressor, the air is pretty silent on these machines. But this is not silent. It's quiet as far as fans go, but I'm going to try and mount this outside. But as far as the one that they have, we're talking about a computer fan. And that is definitely not going to be loud, but I'm not sure that it's going to have enough force to, well, that's probably creakily pretty bad, to put out all of the smoke. It'll probably do a darn good job, and I guess we'll see. So I'm going to turn this off right now, install, this is, figure out where this is going to go. Then I'll show you that me installing it, and then we'll see if it works. If you look at how the diagram shows you to put this together, I would test this and make sure that the airflow is going the way that you think it is. The way that it looks, it could throw you off. Now, the way that it shows to do it, you put this kind of grill thing on the inside, and the rest of it goes on the outside. But if you look at what I did, I just didn't do that. So I put the grill and the fan on the inside, and then just the connector on the outside. Now, maybe that's going to cause me a huge problem, and if it does, I will mention that in the video. But I'm trying to keep the sound inside. So I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference. But as you can see here, the sound should be a little better, a little bit more muffled, because all of the working parts are on the inside. So I did test it. It is blowing the direction that I think it blows. Just put the little screws in there. Now, when I did pull it out of the box, 2 of the nuts were off of it, which isn't a big deal. Just make sure you look. They were in there. And this is the power supply that it comes with, which is going to have to go somewhere. Coming up with a power supply that turns off with the laser, just like the module does, wow, that will be something wonderful, I think. But did we dare to dream? Maybe there's an easy way that I haven't thought of to do that. So I guess you can write in the comments, tell me how I'm going to easily do that. I could put them all on the same power switch, but I want it to turn off when I'm not using the laser. You know, I'm so spoiled because with the Atezr 36 watt, when you're not using it, it just powers down. You don't hear it. It's so amazing. And the air turns off, and it's just, that is one thing that is night and day better about it than any of the other ones I've tested. So I'm going to tighten this down now, and I'll put the hose on. Just comes with a clamp, and then you stick the hose on. I think everybody here can probably figure out how to do that. Unfortunately, this is on the opposite side of where it's going to vent. So it's probably not going to go far enough, but at least I can test it. Okay, a couple things of note here. You probably already hear how loud that fan is. And it's, it needs to be able to pull in the kind of air, or push out the kind of air it needs to when it's that small. So I have a feeling it's going to work well, but it's also going to annoy the crap out of me. Now, I did put it on a separate switch, so I can just power that down when I want to, but very annoying. But let me show you the difference between when the top is on and when it's not, and why I put it on the inside instead of the outside. So let's put this on. That is a night and day difference in how loud it is. Is it still annoying? Yes, but it is so much less annoying. Another thing I wanted to mention is this taking off the plastic off of this acrylic. It's on both sides. Usually that's a very satisfying thing to do. And in this case, it is less. The reason I say that, the plastic goes around these little rivets that go all the way through the acrylic. And if you're not careful, it will pop that rivet right off. So trying to get that out, it's not as fun and satisfying as it should be. But we will get it done. And no, I wasn't being gentle. But hey, I don't want to take all day. I want to get to work. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why people buy this type of enclosure. Hey, one, you don't have to build anything. Two, it's very quick. And you just want to get your project up and going. And that's the case for me. Now, I want to just show you over here what I ended up doing. Now, that's all you get as far as the hose goes. So that's pulled pretty tight to here. So basically the length of the enclosure itself, and then maybe a foot or two. So if your exit happens to be on the opposite side of where the hole is, well, you're probably going to need some extra hose. I just happen to have an extra hose from my shop vac over there and decided, hey, I'm gonna just use that for now, before, just to test it, because I'm testing this for all of you, because I'll be using the AC Infinity likely. Now, you don't want to use two different fans because they'll both be running at different speeds, pulling different amount of air. And so one of them is going to end up burning out the other one. Obviously, the small one's probably going to get burned out. So good old painter's tape just for right now with the hose, and it's going outside. And that should do it. So the next step really is, I ran all the cables, as you can see down here. Let me bring a light over. As you can see down here, you've got these openings. Now they're in all four corners so that you can get cables out. I got the air hose cable will be coming out of the back, and all the other ones here. So you can see I can get the display outside. And this, of course, is the air assist. I will probably be putting something underneath that to lessen the vibration. So next step is to finish getting off this plastic, and I get it off the bottom. I finish getting it off the top. I've got a Furman power conditioner that I use to, this old building for power. I'll put this together correctly, and then we'll give it a shot. Okay, now it's time, I think, to run a little test. See if I can get this thing working. Now, I just brought everything down to my shop. You can hear that noise. In fact, here, let me lift this up so you can hear the difference. Here I am right next to it with the microphone. So that's what it would sound like if the fan was on the outside once again. But wow, isn't it gorgeous? Once you get all the plastic covering coating off, it's actually quite beautiful. Here, let me bring the camera up, see. Now, it does not come with any lighting. Now, some do. So keep that in mind. You will need to put some sort of LED lights inside, I'm guessing. That's what I did. I just threw an LED strip. Of course, I'm going to mount that at some point, and it'll be beautiful, but right now it's getting the job done. I just wanted to test this for everybody and see, hey, is the smoke going to leave the building, or is it going to go everywhere? Because no matter how much I like this thing, and I do, if it doesn't work, who cares? All right, so I'm just doing a little test. I just set it up, so hopefully it works. I have no idea. Move halfway across the state and then just try it out with you live. Ah, gosh, I love this laser. It's so nice. All right, so I just did a slight cut. I didn't want it to go all the way through. And then I figured doing the engrave like this would add the most smoke possible. Let's see. So far, I see or smell no smoke whatsoever. Let's see if we can get into the actual laser and see what's going on in there. I don't even actually see any smoke. Now, I do see a little bit of light leaking from below here, which means there are some areas where it's not sealed. You, of course, could seal that. Not too difficult to do. I think you want a certain amount of air just to keep the airflow and keep the fan from choking. But wow, it looks like we're already getting some dirt buildup. Over here with the fan side, I'm not seeing any smoke. I smell nothing. Okay, if I get right up next to it, I can smell it. So there is some leakage going on. Yeah, if I get right up next to it, I can smell smoke. From back here, I cannot. So, is a fail unless I have done something incorrect here. It looks like I've got it somewhat sealed all the way around. Okay, take two. This is the next day. What I found was that there's this little vent, and I had it plugged up by the air. So that may actually have made a difference. As I told you before, there's a lot of light coming out. So I added some tape around a lot of it. I was thinking I wanted to do that anyways because this will move and I don't want it to move. So it seemed like a win-win to put a little bit of painter's tape, which is my go-to for just about everything. Between the two of those, I would see, is it going to seal better? Am I going to smell any smoke? So I'm going to run the same test as yesterday, and then I'll get right up next to it, and we'll see smoke or no smoke. Now, the line wasn't going to make a lot of smoke, but now that I have the engraving part of it, I did a deep engrave of a circle and I cross-hatched it. So this should be pretty much maximum amount of smoke. Let's get in here a little closer. If you notice, there's already some smoke buildup on the acrylic there. I'm seeing the smoke blow very hard towards the vent. And I can see where it would probably be coming out if I didn't have this tape. It seems like that's exactly where it might flow under. But right now, no smoke. I don't smell anything. Let me see if I can't get you up top where you can see this a little better. I don't know if it's showing up in the camera, but you can see this, the flow of smoke going to the right, and none of it is building up. So yeah, I think this is working pretty good. I'm right next to it, trying to smell any smoke I can. I really can't smell anything. So, okay, for the second time, don't cover up the little vent. And put some tape around it, which you probably should anyway. And I don't see any type of smoke outside the machine at all, and I don't smell any. Okay, good. All right, I think we got a winner. I can't imagine there's a lot more to say about it. So I hope you liked the video. Listen, just throw me any questions about anything. Now that I'm back in this huge shop and I've got everything that I could possibly want, you know, throw me questions about any machine, any laser, anything, and I will do my best to work on it. And I'm going to stick up 2 whiteboards today, and we're just going to start making a list. So your suggestions are welcome. All right. See you in the next one. Love y'all.